Whataburger Bassmaster Elite from Lake Hartwell, semifinal Saturday as we take you down to this well-known, well-traveled as far as pro bass fishing goes, body of water here on the border between Georgia and South Carolina. Watching some movement up and down that leaderboard today, a lot of breakthroughs, a few setbacks as well. We can examine what we've seen today by utilizing our Toyota midday report, and we'll start with the man who started in fourth place today but arrived on the scene as the leader. Progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year points as of today.
Yeah, you got a good look this morning, Jason Kurrick. It seems like we have a camera with him every tournament.
Yeah.
And certainly have one with him today. A good start yesterday. Caught most of his fish, he said, relating to spawning. Some of them post-spawners, garden fry, some of them still on the bed. We saw him start out this morning and actually around a herring spawn a little bit, put a couple small spots in the live well, culled those a little bit later, doing what he did most of the day yesterday. Using his electronics and his eyes and his polarized glasses. They're a wacky rig. Mixing up a drop shot and a wacky rig. Two main weapons here. And oh yeah, let's don't forget about the tumbleweed.
Oh yeah, that's right, which you use.
I have played around with a tumbleweed a little bit. It's a very different looking, unique bait, but hey, you got to keep up with what these guys are doing if you're going to stay in touch with things.
Had the good fortune of staying with Drew Cook for a lot of yesterday, and we've been with him all day today, and he's putting on a show, doing what he is very, very good at.
So it's so interesting, educational to see Drew Cook, how persistent he has been, how he is all in on spawning largemouth and some of the bigger spotted bass, but primarily largemouth. We've seen our other anglers in the top 10 mixing up some herring spawn fish, especially early in the morning. Drew Cook has not done that. Started off yesterday and today with good, solid 4 to 5 pound fish. Starting off early, sight fishing. A lot of these other guys have gone try to put a few fish in a live well, but it's really paid off for Drew Cook. Catching his biggest fish yesterday and today in the first hour while most anglers were out doing other things. But for today, for Drew Cook to fall all the way back to 30th place and now unofficially up into third place with 35 pounds even, it just shows you how good he is at what he does, how much confidence he has in what he is doing, and it's really been good. And he's done a good job talking us through what these fish are doing, the males and the females. So it's been great to have a camera with Drew Cook both days.
His patience is amazing. He will spend the time it takes to get a good result if he thinks he can get it. Randy Howell, our day one leader with well over 21 pounds of fish, and coming out there with an 8-pounder in his live well as well yesterday. That would be hard to replicate today, so you expect a drop-off, but Randy has done his best to prevent that from happening.
He's done a good job today. When you see an angler leading an event with a 8-pounder like he had yesterday, being such a big key to him leading, you think, well, he's not going to stay in the hunt very long. You won't catch another one that size very likely this week. The same angler in particular started out yesterday with that fish. Today started out, you see here, with the herring spawn, fishing a variety of top orders, jerk baits, and even a crankbait or two mixed up. Got him a solid limit, and then he went to the bank. And I've known Randy a long time, since the early to mid-90s. He's always been a good sight fisherman. Keeps a wacky rig Cinco in his hand a lot while he is using other baits, sight fishing. But this fish right here in particular was a bonus with that wacky rig Cinco. A nice solid 3 1/4, 3.5 pound spotted bass right there. But good job, Randy Howell. Currently unofficially in second place without an 8-pounder. He's done a good job just catching a solid limit of fish today.
Georgia's Paul Marks, the rookie, doing very well this season, came in third place today, and he has moved right up to the top very early on.
Yeah, absolutely. If you keep up with tournament bass fishing around Lake Hartwell, you will recognize Paul Marks. If you don't know him, because this is his first year on the Bassmaster Elite Series, you know him if you're in the Georgia, South Carolina area. A very, very good angler with a lot of experience here on Lake Hartwell. Not surprising to see him around the top of the leaderboard. Currently, unofficially, he is leading with 35 pounds, 15 ounces. Had a great day yesterday. I don't think we're going to see him stumble. It'll be interesting to see if he can continue to catch these, let's say, 3.5 pound spotted bass on a consistent basis. We've seen some other great anglers, Emil Wagner yesterday, doing a lot of the same things that Paul Marks had done. And you can kind of get stuck in catching 2 3/4 pounders, maybe some 3-pounders, and not those 3 1/2, 3 3/4 like Paul has been able to do. But good for him. He's been mixing it up also. Started this morning to herring spawn, did some side fishing, and he's catching these spotted bass.
Well, there you go, Paul Marks with the 8-ounce lead ahead of Randy Howell. Randy doing a good job of hanging in there. Drew Cook, as Davey said, that roller coaster ride today from up in the top 6 all the way down to the mid-30s and then back up again. Just had to stop and fill out his limit in order to take care of part of that. Trey McKinney appearing sort of out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, but he's been lurking for a while, but he is a big part of the story right now. Jay Kurrick, Jordan Lee, Luke Palmer, Lee Livesey, Cody Meyer, and Alex Redwine now make up our top 10. Pretty good bit different from what we started the day with. Falling out of the top 10, Kyoya Fujita is one of those right there. Coop Gallant, big move from 70th up to 4th place at one point during the course of this day. Shane LeHue, who everyone was picking as one of the local favorites, though from North Carolina, they figured him to do very well here. And he had a disappointing day yesterday, but he is putting that behind him and getting some good work done. Cole Sands, Taku Ito, Easton Fothergill, Ray Hanselman. Patrick Walters has been in the 20s pretty much all this tournament here. He said he got into a little bit bad rotation on day number 1. Thought he could have really wrecked him a little bit more, or a lot more, but it didn't really happen. But he hasn't fallen any more, we'll just say that.
Yeah, you have to understand, keeping up with Patrick Walters' young career, that sometimes he makes a real big move right about weigh-in time if you pay attention to his bass track very often. But another name that I saw up there a little farther on the list, Jordan Lee, keeps hanging around that 5th to 10th place.
Yes.
Keep an eye on Jordan Lee.
Absolutely.
He's great on this lake also.
We all had our eye on Jeff Gustafson coming in here because we got a classic coming up from the Tennessee River, Knoxville, Tennessee, and he's owned that body of water, that little piece of water, for the last 2 visits by elites and classics, and thought he'd shot himself out of it yesterday, but he's made it back into the top 50. Maybe he can hang in there, gain some more traction there, and sort of salvage a tournament. He needs to do that if he wants to keep that goal in sight. Gerald Swindle hanging in there in the top 50 as best he can, and these are the ones on the outside looking in, including Brandon Cobb. Definitely, he was a favorite coming in here. Hard to understand that, but as I say, we've seen a lot of guys do good work in the afternoon here, actually turn their days around, so maybe we'll see some of that.
Yeah, hopefully so. We certainly didn't expect to see Brandon Cobb around that cut line.
Go back in there.
Back to Paul Marks live.
Well, how's the day going? It's pretty good. I got a decent bag. Just trying to get a big largemouth right now. Get an actual upgrade. I feel like I'm kind of burning my spots up, spotted bass up out there. So I'm gonna let them have a break. I'm just gonna look rest of the day and maybe run into a big one. This one's not too big, but it'll definitely coal a little bit if I can get her to go up there and bite.
For everyone who didn't see this approach this morning, Davey, tell him what he's doing right now.
It's interesting to watch these anglers, and there's different strategies. They're all elite series anglers, so they're good at what they do. But we've learned today, watching Paul Marks, that one thing that he likes to do is throw a bigger swim bait up around some of these spawning fish to get them hopefully to become more aggressive. I assume this is the same swim bait we saw him with earlier, which has no hooks on it. It's something that I've seen other anglers do before, for sure, to try to get these fish to bite and get aggressive, and then reel that bait in and cast in a bait usually with just one hook, a single hook, a Texas rig, a jig, something like that, where your chances of hooking that fish on the outside of the mouth is a lot less probable than with that big glide bait. You hook that fish on the outside of the mouth, you have to release that fish.
We're to Drew Cook.
Afternoon's going pretty good. You know, we just made a really good call. Got a good bag. Just need to get rid of one more, and I think we'll be just fine. We've still got, you know, almost 3 hours to do it. I'm not doing it until 4 o'clock, so we're gonna keep hunting and pecking, and just keep looking around. There's a big one right there, and try and get it done. We fished for a big bag today so far. There's a couple of them that we might go back to, you know, and try. I've got one female that I found just a little while ago. They were fresh, very fresh. Go back to it, and then I'm gonna have to go back to that big one that I spent all that time on this morning, at least just to try. Because if I could catch her, I would have a really, really good bag that would give me a good shot going into the weekend. But we haven't really connected on many of the roaming fish up here today. Yesterday, and in practice, it was, you know, I could get those to bite pretty consistently. So hopefully here in a little bit, we'll get us one of these big ones. I've seen 2 big ones down this bank, and haven't been able to get either one of them to bite. But it's what we need. There's another big one right there. Man, there's some bass down this bank.
Yeah, he's got a good bag. He's got the second best bag of the day.
I'm all over him. Now I lost the one that was up there shallow. But sun's poking out a little bit. It's not windy. Might be a good afternoon, but I think we're gonna have to keep up pace with everybody else too, because everybody else is probably gonna have a good afternoon. Especially if anybody's fishing docks, or the dock people is what really scares me. Because I saw some really big bass underneath some docks. Dang.
Well, speaking of dock fishing, one of 2 anglers we've been following today who spent a lot of time on docks is this man, Jay Kurrick, with good results. Although he has moved down from 4th to 5th.
All right. Well, I'm having a tough time catching some of the bedfish that I have found. Been running a little bit of new water, mixing it up a little bit, and again, just trying to catch some 3-pounders has been the name of the game today, and I've been struggling doing that so far. We still have 3 hours left, which is a lot of time to. Oop, might have had that one to bite. There's a lot of time to make something happen, so just need to find the right couple fish. It don't take long when you find the right ones, but the problem is just running into them. I've caught a lot of, you know, 2 2.25s that have not helped me recently. So yeah, the plan for, I'm not gonna deviate from what I'm doing just because I know at any point I can catch a, you know, 5-pounder, which is really all I need, you know, 1 5-pounder and you're right there. So I keep after it and see what happens.
Jay, like so many of these good anglers, knows exactly where he stands with regard to the score. If he catches a 5-pounder, he's right up there, even with Paul Marks and Randy Howell.
Yeah, they're not able keep score with the other anglers during the event itself, but they all
know.
pretty much know what
They played this
gotta
game
have.
so long and so well.
Yep. Jay definitely spending more time around the boat docks than anyone else, but I guess
All right, we
second
made some,
to him
making
is
some
Randy
moves
Howell.
around. Headed back to some areas that I saw some yesterday that I didn't catch since I didn't need to catch them yesterday, so I'm kind of running back through those areas. I hadn't hit them yet. I fished a bunch of fairly new water today. A few stretches paid off, but then I spent a lot of time going back in that creek further, and it was dead, and so I wasted a good bit of time in there. So I haven't culled. I've still caught little fish a bunch, but catching the size has not happened yet. But I do know where some more are. The pollen has really gotten worse in a lot of areas today. You can't see. Everywhere I've been, it's not really been visible. But we're down to crunch time, 2 hours and 10 minutes. We're gonna make something good happen here. I'm only a couple good bites away from having a good day. Got real good fish. One decent and then 2 others that I need to get rid of for sure. And we can have
Keep our eyes on Randy for sure, especially since he just disclosed he knows where a couple of good ones are that he hasn't had time to catch. I like that excuse.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to catch them. We got time to take a break.